Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our daily get together live here on Facebook every day of the week, 10:30 in the morning, where we take a look at headlines, comments, ideas, topics, questions, tips, suggestions, anything we can get our hands on to get better acquainted with our life in Mexico in general, in Puerto Vallarta in particular, as a community of English speaking locals. It is always a pleasure to get together with you, and particularly those of you that are new. It's always a pleasure to welcome you to these broadcasts. If you are new, let us know by writing the word new in your comments, and we will give you a lollipop. No, we won't. I'm just kidding. We will just welcome you to our little cluster. And if, let me just do this. That's much better. That crooked ceiling was bothering me. If you have important things that you want to bring up during the broadcast today, please help us out by adding a letter Q. That way we will do our best to try not to miss it. And otherwise, we're going to carry on as usual. Today we have a little bit of news, good news, bad news, all kinds of news. And of course, it's Walking Wednesday. And today we're going to have Walking Wednesday with a twist. And I'll explain what that means in a second. It is March 24. It is Wednesday. What am I missing? I'm missing our hellos, our morning hellos. Let's see who is in the house. It's always a pleasure to take a look at all of you, but it's always a pleasure to, what? Jill is in El Centro, and she says that vaccines are on the way. Well, Jill, you must know some information that I don't, because there's no vaccines on the way, at least not here in Puerto Vallarta. But if you hear, or if you heard or read something that comes from a reliable source, we would love to hear about it. Let's see. Happy Hump Day. Hump Day, and it's like every time I think hump, I think really naughty things. So I'm not going to demonstrate. It's too early in the morning. Woodland Hills is in the house. Good morning, Albert. It's great to see you. Sherry's going to get shot. Lovely. I hope it's just a little prick. I got that from a movie. I didn't make that up. Spokane is in the house. Good morning, oh my goodness, Carol Manikowski. Great last name, Manikowski. Okay, that I can live with that. I hope I said it okay. Thank you very much for that, Scott. I had a lot of fun yesterday. Yesterday was so important to me for so many reasons. I love tacos. I love supporting small businesses. I love helping people connect with the culture of my country. And who doesn't enjoy a good meal? So yesterday was truly, truly special for me, Scott. Thank you very much. By the way, if you are a supporting member and you didn't get an email giving you the address for the new tacos map, it's because I haven't sent it. Yesterday I had a little bit of a meltdown, and I'll explain that in a second. All is well. And the email will go out today for sure. Let's see. Betsy Ann is checking in from Emiliano Zapata. Oh my goodness. Stephanie sent us all flowers with such a beautiful remark. I don't mean to brag, Stephanie, but I am so happy to see that we have gathered here through time some really awesome folks. I love everybody that joins us, and I think it's a good thing. So let's give ourselves a pat in the, where does the pat go? In the head? In the shoulder? I don't know, but let us be happy to be here. Good morning, Thomas. It's great to see you. Um, Ooh, Freddy's Toucan. Rick, great to see you. I wonder if you are at the new Freddy's or the old Freddy's, because I have yet to check out the new Freddy's in Fluvial. I hear it's a beautiful place. Um, oh, thank you so very much, Bruce. Thank you so much for your support. It is very much appreciated. Every time we get new members, I get excited because this allows us to continue doing what we so much love, which is creating these connections. Um, Question from Janet. Anyone know if we can go to Bucerias and eat on the beach? I can unofficially let you know that you certainly can, because there are no beach restrictions as yet, although we will announce today an updated version of the Semana Santa restrictions for Nayarit. But I am sure that if there are restaurants in Bucerias that are serving beachfront, and there's plenty of them, you can enjoy a nice meal on the beach, unless you want it at 11 o'clock at night, at which time probably, the beaches are closed and it's probably not a good time to do it. Trucha hadn't quoted Pee Wee Herman's wonderful television show in a while. It's great to see Mecca like a high, Mecca Heiny Ho on the screen. Thank you very much for that. Um, let's see what else we have. Oh my goodness, Jill just posted um, del jueves al lunes arriba Vallarta es un. Okay, okay. So there's news that I missed this morning. Jill posts a link, and just looking at the top of the link, it seems to be that Tribuna announced that the second dose is coming to Puerto Vallarta. This is good to know. I will take a look at that headline at the end of today, and we'll confirm tomorrow. Thank you very much for sharing. Um, For the party, how about celebrating at Daiquiri Dick's before they close? Great indoor and sand tables. That's also a good idea. Let me. I'm just so flattered that you guys all want to party and want to get together, and at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, I panic because I'm not going to places with lots of crowds. So, but I'm taking in all this information. Thank you very much. Uh, your family went. Chef Callis, I keep hearing things about him, and he comes into our broadcast from time to time. We keep telling Chef Callis to kindly send us a webpage or something where he has all his services announced, and we haven't seen it yet. But I'm glad to hear that he's doing good, and thank you very much for the recommendation. Um, okay, so I think we're there. Let us get started with the news, and we'll take it from there. Well, as I mentioned a second ago, Nayarit has updated their Semana Santa guidelines. In a press conference, the Secretary of Tourism for the state, Antonio Rojas, indicated that 14 tourist assistance modules will be installed in regions where most visitors are expected, including, of course, Bahía de Banderas. Some of the measures we were already familiar with, such as the lodging capacity being maxed out at 50% for hotels. In addition, beaches, lakes, and lagoons will be open from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m., not the previously announced 5 p.m. And if you want to access Bahía de Banderas by car, the access will only be limited to those that have reservations. We had mentioned this in the past couple of days. If you or yours are planning to drive to Bahía de Banderas, you should have your reservation confirmation at hand, because you could be stopped, and if you don't have a way to prove that you have a place to stay, then you might be turned away. Public pools will operate at 50% capacity, and I'm not talking about hotel pools, I'm just talking about pools that are open to the public. All beach camping is forbidden. There's no camping this year. Restaurants and nightlife can operate until 10 p.m. And pools in hotels will be operational only until 4 p.m. And of course, face mask use in common areas is mandatory. It does kind of make you want to stay at home, doesn't it? I'm just very glad that I'm not going to go anywhere in this Semana Santa period. Um, Moving on, this morning, 170,625 additional Pfizer vaccines arrived in Mexico City's international airport. It is not clear where they are going to be applied, but given the vaccine's cold temperature storage requirements, they will likely go to an urban area. This is the 13th shipment of Pfizer vaccines received in Mexico to date. And given the fact that somebody just mentioned that vaccines may be coming to Puerto Vallarta next week, I wonder if these are the vaccines that we are going to be receiving. Again, at the end of the broadcast, I'll keep an eye on the news and we'll take it from there. Now, I know that some people have been saying, well, I don't want to get vaccinated in Mexico. I don't want to take away vaccines from Mexicans. But if you're wondering whether you should get vaccinated here or in your own country, if you have that option, Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has assured that all migrants will be vaccinated in Mexico as long as there are vaccines available. This, of course, based on vaccine availability. So, again, I had not heard any news about new vaccine shipments until somebody brought it up this morning. This is good news, and I'll be happy to clarify and confirm this as soon as we get offline. Let me take a quick look at some of your comments right now. Sham badim bam boom bam boom bam bam. Boom badim bum bum bim bum bam beam. The new Freddy's has a different menu. I'm not sure if the downtown location does as well. Well, the downtown location, Terry, has been extremely popular. The one on Basilio Vadillo, there's always lines for, if you're trying to get in. So I don't know. I still want to check it out. It's right here in Fluvial. I'm going to get to that at some point. I have so many restaurants that I want to explore. Paco, remember, if you have a get together, that the person who sits at the head of the table pays the check. Sherry, the place at the head of the table is all yours. Oh, let's see what else. Is it the same with PV just going if you have reservations? Asks Angelica. The answer is no. Jalisco has announced that there will be checkpoints along the way, but Jalisco has not indicated that you have to have a reservation in hand. This is strictly Nayarit, and I'm inclined to believe that it has to do with the fact that beach camping is extremely popular in the state of Nayarit, not so much so in the state of Jalisco, at least not in crowded areas. Um, Claude says, has any of the clusters seen the new look of Café des Artistes? It is spectacular, I think. I haven't actually walked down that street in a while, but I'll be curious to do so sometime in the near future. Um, let's see. I am caught up with you, and there's a big helicopter flying by. Woo! Goodbye, helicopter. Let us move on to the weather. What do we got? We have 25 degrees Celsius, feels like 25 because humidity is down to 37%. That would be 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Beautiful day. Today is a perfect day to get revenge on the bully who picked on you in fourth grade. Oh, if I only could find that bully, because I was picked on in fourth grade, and the memory remains vivid in my mind. And there are not enough shrinks, there are not enough medications in this planet to make that dreadful memory go away, I must say. The weather forecast for today is partly cloudy through the day with high temperature 29, low temperature 15. Same thing for tomorrow, partly cloudy with high temperature 29, low temperature 16. And then on Friday, oh, the weekend is almost here, good Lord. Partly cloudy through the day with a high temperature of 29 and a low temperature of 16. How about that? Let me take, let's see. Freddy's in Fluvial is always busy. I'm not surprised because it's very popular with local families. Freddy's in Fluvial is ridiculously crowded on weekends. Good to know. Let's see what else. Scott went to Art Walk last Wednesday, was spectacular. That's good to hear. I haven't been to Art Walk in forever, but it's good to know that the galleries are continuing to draw people on Wednesday evenings. Moving on with some other headlines that I have here for you. I want to let you know about El Salado, which we know has been in the process of being improved. And these improvements for the estuary um, began yesterday with the relocation of some trees in preparation for a new access area to be devoted for visitors. The trees are presently growing in a part where the ground tends to loosen up during the rain season, so their relocation will not only provide for a safer area to enter the park, but also will guarantee the survival of the trees being removed. I also wanted to let you know of more infrastructure developments. This time around, it's the neighborhood in Puerto Vallarta called La Floresta. The neighbors are happy to welcome new infrastructure projects with improved public spaces being presented by the interim mayor, Jorge Antonio Quintero Alvarado. And in case you're wondering where La Floresta is, let's find it on the map. Today I decided let us pull up a map so we can find La Floresta. And there it is. There it is, right there. And if you want to zoom out of the map, there is La Floresta, there's Marina Vallarta, and there's the rest of the city. And every time I look at a map like this, there's El Centro. And every time I look at a map like this, I'm reminded of how much larger Puerto Vallarta is than we tend to think. So when I hear people say things like, "Oh yeah, I love Puerto Vallarta," and where do you usually go? Oh, I go to the Zona Romantica. It's like you haven't seen Puerto Vallarta. Or when I hear people say, "Well, Puerto Vallarta is a gay destination," yeah, think. Well, there's a lot of gay people here, but it's a huge city, and this is why I love um, hanging out with you guys, because for the vast majority of you seem to be really concerned or intrigued about what goes on in the rest of the city, as am I. So I'm happy to show you this big map. And I think I'm going to start doing that every time I mention infrastructure improvements here, there, and everywhere. We'll whip out a map so that we can remember how large the city really is. Let me come back to my main screen to see comments, because after that I want to do a little bit of show and tell, because I have some interesting things. Um, let's see what I can see. Michelle asks, did you receive my coffee deposit yesterday? Michelle, I will check at the end of the broadcast and will be happy to let you know. Thank you so very much. Matthew says, karma will have its way with your bully if it hasn't already. I am absolutely certain of that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. We all have, well, not all of us, but some of us have bullies, and let's not go to the bully land. Let's see. I beg your pardon. Maybe Paco will explain. He showed up. He showed us how to make a small hole on top and bottom, then blow on one side, and it literally comes out the hole and shelled. Okay, I must have missed something, but that sounds absolutely sexy. Let's see what else we have. Oh, it was a video of a very drunk, funny woman who showed how to do it after a bottle or two of wine. My God, you guys keep getting more mysterious. Too funny, too funny. Anyhow, let me see. Araña loves the idea of the maps. The maps, I love maps because they help us get around. And again, they give us a perspective of how humongous this city is, and how sometimes we think the government is not doing enough because they're not fixing the pretty parks that are near where we usually hang out. But again, it's nice to be reminded constantly that there are neighborhoods without water, without pavement, without the basic necessities. So, you know, we'll continue to reference the map whenever it becomes relevant. And Christy says maps are the best. And I am so happy that Christy is here, because it so happens that we are going to do show and tell about Christy. As you recall, Christy is our own squirrel rescue goddess slash angel in the group, and we talked about how Christy does this with squirrels. And Christy was so kind to send me these two awesome photographs of her doing her deed. That is Christy, feeding an itty bitty squirrel. Oh my God, it is so tiny, with a special syringe. So I have this photo to share. And then I have this other one. Look at how tiny that thing is. They are just itty bitty. I don't know where you find them, Christy, or I don't know if they sign up at your door or what the deal is, but the simple fact that you have the patience and the love to do this just makes me go, oh, it really, really does. So I think it's wonderful that you're doing this. And next time you are in Puerto Vallarta, I look forward to hearing more stories about your work. And if anybody in the cluster wishes to send us or share photos about what you do, what keeps you busy, what makes you happy, and what will make us love you and appreciate you even more, please share those photos with us. Just send them through the chat here at the Facebook page, and we'll be happy to feature them because everybody is doing wonderful things. Everybody's doing important things, and how nice it is to be able to share them here. I like this one. The other one I like too. It's darker, and I wonder if they have different species of squirrels. And I wonder what you're going to call them, Christy. So please let us know. Oh, here we go. Here's a little bit of an explanation. They come through our wildlife department at our SPCA from people who have found them for various reasons. That is so wonderful. And Logan had never seen a baby squirrel before. That makes two of us. It is totally, totally sweet. Anyhow, before we go into Walking Wednesday, I have two other mindless things to share with you. This one comes from our good friends at Vox, and I share it with you because you may be wanting to read it. As part of my own preparation for Semana Santa, I'm always happy to bump into articles such as this one, where they encourage us to consider binging on the Lord of the Rings trilogy, even 20 years after it was released. I can't believe it's been that long. It seems like it was yesterday that I was watching these films. So if you're looking for things to do during Semana Santa, as am I, this might be a good suggestion. And the last thing that I want to share before we go into Walking Wednesday is this other fabulous article from the New York Times that has to do with how our digitized world has just changed how we listen to music. It has changed the format of the music, and this is one of those awesome articles that has demonstrations of how songs used to be formatted with an intro and a verse and so forth and so on. And it has actual examples that we can listen to. And then how this format of the standard pop song changed or has changed through times. Again, I find it fascinating, and it is something that you may want to explore on your own time. And as always, we will leave all these links available for you in the show notes. Arturo says, I've noticed many of your viewers inquiring about contributions to Coffee and Headlines. Is that often an issue? If so, can you check if you received my contributions? Sure, I'll be happy to do that. I'll be happy to do that, Arturo. It's not something that we usually do, but I'm very, very happy to do so. Let's see. Stephanie has a resident squirrel. I love it. I wonder if you've challenged yourself to bond with your squirrel, Stephanie. Maybe we can get some tips from Christy as to how we would be able to do that. Mihal says, I think I'm ready for a Lord of the Rings binge. I say, sign me up. Let's find a safe place to do this, and consider doing a binge together during Semana Santa. Okay, so now we're going to get into Walking Wednesday, and before we do that, I have to share a disclaimer because I do stupid things like other people do stupid things. And yesterday, I should have looked at the telling signs that yesterday's walk for today was not going to be very successful when I forgot an accessory at home, and I ended up having to hold my camera with one hand and my video camera with the other. Long story short, I came home, and as I was getting to transfer the video file to my computer, I hit the delete button instead. And of course, I ended up deleting the walk. But despite that epic fail, we have show and tell. So today we're not walking in video. I'm showing you a little bit of the things that I saw. So this will not count as an official Walking Wednesday. But as long as we are here, let me first show you where I went. And then as long as we have a map, let me come back to the map. So yesterday's walk, before I show you where I went, was around the municipal stadium in front of the Sheraton, and this is Colonia. This is Colonia Lázaro Cárdenas. So I started in this corner, and I came in this way, and then I came all the way over here, and then I went back through the inside of the stadium, and I ended up back at the original place. Was I looking for eye candy? Perhaps, ever so slightly. There's always eye candy at the park. And I had just mentioned the fact that the city is doing infrastructure improvements, so I was curious to see them. It's not the end of the world. We'll do the walk again, but first, let me show you what I saw. So we started here at the corner of Avenida de las Américas and Francisco Villa, where you can see the municipal auditorium, which is it's usually used as a indoor basketball court. Across the street, I was excuse me for a second. Oh, that was good. Across the street, right in the corner, I saw this place that has tacos de carnitas. I haven't actually checked it out, but I figured I'm going to go check it out one of these days. And that's one of the other reasons why I was walking through this general area. There was an awesome little fruit stand on that same corner. And the reason why this area is really fun is not only because of the park itself. And, if you want to exercise, this is a great place to get some exercise. But because there's a lot of interesting businesses around the perimeter of the park. For example, I discovered this El Patron, this restaurant that I've never been to. It seems to be a seafood restaurant, so I added it to my list of places that I want to check out. But further along the side of the stadium, there are all these small eateries that are always crowded, except for, yesterday I was there in the middle of the day, so most people must have been working and not in their lunch break just yet. So I found this tropical fruit place. Then there was a doña next door that was serving some kinds of food and tacos. Across the street, there's Kashi Sushi, which is one of the sushi places that I tend to go to, although not as frequently as the ones that you find in Fluvial. And then, again, there were a number of different little puestos and eateries, one next to the other. This guy was very, very happy to tell me about a birria place that that was really, really good. And again, I was just looking for new places to check out. This place had carnitas, and I really wanted to check them out as well. So this is a better view of some of the food stands that you can find next to the stadium, and it makes sense to me that they're there because if people are there training or exercising and then they want to, grab a bite because they develop an appetite, what a better place to do it. This was an ice cream place, and this was a tortas and tacos place. They all look very clean, very well kept, and I'll be very, very happy to go back and check them out. This is simply the side entrance to the stadium. You can see back there how there are some new roofs, and we're going to go take a look at them as we turn around the corner. And we have turned around the corner here. I am getting close to the front tennis or fronton, I don't know, the big courts. And this is an example of how one of them has just been repainted, which is really, really awesome for people that regularly do exercise. The crews are working very busy. The place has yet to be inaugurated officially, but that I understand that that's happening sometime in the near future. I could see the construction crew working in different places where I went. Across the street is one of the locations for Ocho Tostadas, and I like this location very much. I was kind of surprised that it was completely closed. I wonder if this was their Dia de Descanso, their resting day. Maybe they close on Tuesdays. But this is one of my favorite Ocho Tostadas. This is the one that I go to the most, although there is a nearer one to my house, which is in Versalles. But there's an Ocho Tostadas in Marina Vallarta. There's this one by the stadium, and I know of the one in Versalles. I am sure that there's got to be others around the city. Great seafood restaurant. This is a men's clinic that I've gone to with Dr. Lopez Cueto every time I have problems with my midlands. This is a men's clinic, and it made me wonder if there are girl clinics out there. There must be there must be a girl clinic in the city. This is a boy clinic, and I like going to Dr. Lopez Cueto because he's a good doctor, and it's I've had conversations with him about how there are a lot of men, especially men that are of lesser education. I don't know how to put that in a polite way or politically correct way, that just don't know that you need to check the downstairs department from time to time to make sure that you don't have anything wrong going on. And no, I don't have anything wrong going on, and I haven't been to the clinic in forever. But it's nice to know that there's a special place for all of us boys to take care of our junk. So there. Just down the street, there's a wonderful Tortilleria Arias. It's one of the most legendary ones in the city, and it's one that caters not only to the general public, but also to many restaurants. They make tortillas in all kinds of sizes and so forth and so on. But back to the park, I saw that the baseball stadium within the park was busy. Somebody was playing. There was a team hanging out there. And this was the official notification that the front tennis, it is front tennis, not fronton, the front tennis courts are being improved, as is obviously noticeable. But I got this beautiful sight of the local baseball field, and it's nice to have these fields right in the middle of the city so that people that are interested in exercising can do so. This is a contrast between some of the older courts and some how the newer courts are being painted, but I'm sure that some of the older courts are going to be gotten to as well by personnel from the city. Let's see what else we have. There is also yummy. There is also a lot of places where people do aerobics classes, which is another nice thing to do if you want to go and exercise. There are tennis courts if you've never walked in there, and of course, all these courts are available through the city. There's an office where you can probably go into and say, well, I want to practice tennis with my buddy. What do I need to do to be able to do this? I don't know exactly what the requirements are, but there they are. That's a closer look at some of the new painting done in the tennis courts. This is a shielded, or a roofed rather, area where the Zumba classes and the aerobics classes usually take place. Sometimes when I've gone walking around the track, it's nice to see gorditos and gorditas like myself just doing exercise. And this is a special area where people that are interested in learning how to do boxing can do that. There's a small ring, and there are punching bags available. And I actually have enjoyed looking at, well, who hasn't? I enjoy looking at the athletes. Is that a crime? Of course, it's not a crime. This is a seating area if you're watching track and field sports. And this is a fun area located close to the main entrance, which is where the skateboarders are able to hang out and practice their sport. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this area was created by the same organization that recently made a proposal to create a skateboarding park along the Malecon next to the Isla Rio Cuale pedestrian bridge. Um, there was nobody there again, but it was the middle of the day. But it's a fun place. I like this graffiti that I saw on the wall. The one on the right says "Think, Inspire, Skate, Repeat." How awesome is that? And this is another look at where you usually see skateboarding athletes learning their craft. It has like bumps and hills and all kinds of things so that they can do their thing. Here's another look at the facility. It's actually quite fun to see, you know, men and women congregate there of all ages. I mean, it's usually kids, but there's also some young adults as well doing this stuff. And this is a look at the entrance to the track again. Um, I looked at the hours of operation. The track is open to the public from early in the morning until like 2 o'clock or something like that. Then it closes and it reopens around 5 o'clock, and it remains open until 8 or 9, I believe. I don't remember the hours, but it's a great track. I like walking that track because it gives me a sense of, well, first of all, because it's well paved, it's well maintained. And if you are doing the track, running it or walking it, and there are some serious athletes also practicing, it's common that most of the slower people will tend to be on the outside lanes. And, there's a whole protocol that you follow. And I don't ever feel intimidated by walking there because there are people of all ages and all sizes exercising. And again, if you like to find motivation looking at some people that are better built than yours truly, I love the inspiration. And speaking of inspiration, here is our wonderful Benito Juarez. His statue is at the entrance of the stadium. I would have thought they would have put a statue for Agustin. Oh gosh, what is his last name? Agustin Lopez Contreras, I think, is his full name, and that's the name of the stadium because he was an important benefactor here in Puerto Vallarta. But no, we have our very own Benito Juarez, who we call the Benito de las Americas, and we've talked about Juarez before. In fact, we said a few weeks ago he's the only Mexican hero whose birthday we celebrate. That was on March the 21st. And last but not least, there's a whole facility for people to do free weights with very basic weights. But the eye candy there is always yummy. There are men and women exercising and doing, strength training. And I always, feel shy walking in that general area because I've allowed myself to develop COVID in the most unexpected places. And I think this is the end of what we had. Oh, I just took this photograph of the main entrance, which is right across the street from the Sheraton. And I do believe this was the last slide. That is correct. So just imagine that all of this was done with a lovely video. And again, I am sorry that I hit the delete button by mistake. But at least I have these photographs to share with you. This does not count as a Walking Wednesday. I owe you a Walking Wednesday the way we usually do them. So I hope that sometime before the end of this week, I'll find a way to go walking some of the place that is really awesome and exciting. Let me take a quick look at your comments before we move on with what we're doing. Let's see. Shungara boom bam bum. Yay for maps, says Michael. Thank you very much for that. Lots of eye candy in that area. Don't get me started. I have had the outside squirrels eating my lap. There you go. There you go. Maybe we can have Squirrel 101 class when Christy is here in town again. No, Mark. IT issues happen all the time. Let's see. Papa Don's Pizza is over there. Yum. I haven't tried Papa Don's Pizza, so I'm glad to see that. Thank you very much. Marie says El Patron is one of my favorites. Thank you very much for that endorsement, Marie. That makes me even more excited to try it. Thank you very much for that, Joey. Let's see. Oh, more endorsements for El Patron. My goodness, I should really go there. Thank you so very much. Awesome tortas cubanas along that stretch of food stands. Thank you for that. Oh my God, you all have been to El Patron and I haven't. Okay, that gives me a thing to do. Let's see. Pre-pandemic, I would meet Tongo every week for a lesson on the stadium. He was very patient, lovely man, lovely place. Can't wait to be together again. That sounds awesome, Rita. What was Tonga showing you? He's a dear musician friend of mine. Were you doing exercise or were you doing an instrument lesson? Now I am curious. Angelica loves ocho tostadas. That makes two of us. Let's see. Best murals across from the stand in PV, one after another. Absolutely. As a retired nurse, thank you for that very important public announcement for men to have their junk checked out. If you weren't my friend Claude, I'd be happy to check your junk for you. No, I'm just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Did I get the guy in the white tank top's number? Of course I didn't. I was busy creating content for you. Too funny. But yes, no. Sometimes I've walked around the stadium and there's a lot of inspiration there. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's see what else. Who knew all that stuff was back there? I tell you, Sean, we need to get out more often. Let's see. Paco Siapal sent out a notice saying water to be turned off between 9 and 4 today in Emiliano Zapata, El Remance, Altavista, El Centro Olímpica. 5 de diciembre, El Cerro has not happened yet in Emiliano Zapata, but it's a definite possibility. Thank you very much for that, Heather. If you get run out of water, this is probably because Zapal is doing some kind of improvements. Thank you for sharing that. Uh, Matthew says we need an update on that hunky ophthalmologist, the one that I was going to go see, who ended up getting COVID and canceled my appointment. I'm going to make a phone call, Matthew, and I'll find out if he's still marriage material. Let's see what else we have. Oh, thank you very much, Judy. I always feel self conscious when I don't deliver what I promise, but I've learned not to be so hard on myself as well. Oh, maybe we can get the update from Michael if he has already communicated with the eye doctor. Michael, you are a smart man, proactive. I love it. Let's see what else we have. Boom, gada, boom, bam, boom. Are there any pickleball courts in the area? Oh, dear heart, if I knew what pickleball was, I might be able to answer. I never heard of pickleball before, but I'm finding myself giggling like a schoolgirl just by saying that word. What on earth is pickleball? I love it. You guys give me so many things to be curious about. Thank you very much for that, Michael. Uh, Paco Love, the flirtatious side of you. Well, see, now I'm like, we gotta be flirty. You know, it never works. I don't ever catch a cold anymore, but that's okay. I've shifted my needs to other kinds of needs. Now I'm just grateful to get lots of love and hugs from my friends. But a little bit of pickle tickle would be lovely from time to time. So if anybody, oh, it's a cross between tennis and ping pong. I never heard of it, Stacy. Maybe that's your calling. Move to Vallarta and open a pickleball court. I would love to see that. Never heard of it. I actually don't know if we have pickleball courts. It sounds fascinating. Um, and this fascination brings us to the end of Coffee and Headlines. I don't have anything else or new to share with you. But as always, I am so happy that we're here together. I thank you, as always, for the opportunity to spend time with you and the opportunity to learn new things from you. Clearly, I have more restaurants to go and explore thanks to your wonderful suggestions, and we'll be doing so in the next few weeks or days. I'm actually, going to restaurants is my only hobby anymore. Uh, as far as food is concerned, of course, we do that whenever the budget allows. And needless to say, we are condemned, not condemned, but we are destined to explore taquerias in the future, and I am so very happy about that. Anyhow, this is what we have. Thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you so very much for being part of the cluster. Enjoy your day. Stay happy, stay kind, stay safe, stay in touch, and I will see you soon. Have a great one.